Welcome to the Hello Lovely podcast. I'm your host, Christie Williams, and I teach women how to be themselves. As an exclusive life coach for women, I'll teach you how to manage anxiety, make decisions you're confident in, and stop beating yourself up. So let's get started. Hello, lovely. What are you up to? Today I am packing and prepping and getting things ready for a couple different things. I'm doing a self-esteem challenge coming up, so completing all of the back end work for that, which keep your ears and eyes peeled because you are not going to want to miss that. More to follow. And we're going to the beach on a sort of last minute trip, and I am ready. Do y'all like the beach? It's one of my favorite places. I can just totally disconnect there, which is so nice. And disconnect in this really refreshing way. Those waves, the sky, the sound, those cute little sandpipers, and the sunsets. Oh! So stinking good. So we'll be off tomorrow morning, and I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, I have these grandeur ideas of packing in advance and having everything prepped and nice, which I have done. Okay, I have done that once before when we went to Italy. I knew we were going to be gone for 3 weeks. So I took 6 months to pack, which is another story. But in general, the idea of packing in advance sounds so lovely and wonderful and beautiful, but I end up packing either late the night before or early the morning of. I know, just let it be. Just let it be. It's fine. It's not even a problem. It's just what I'm doing. So I'm going to see if I can get a little jump start today and pack a little bit this afternoon, so tonight it doesn't have to be so late, but we'll see. But I'll be physically back from the trip before this podcast even goes live. So I'm sure after it goes live, I'm just going to be tempted to go back to the beach again because of that description of how great the beach is. So that's what I'm doing. But as we get into our topic today, in between decisions, I wanted to share a recent client experience because I think it really helps to show not only how common this is, but what's actually happening that makes a decision harder, adds more pressure, takes more time, and feels like a lose-lose situation, whatever you decide. Which do not sound like a decision you'd want to make, yeah? So I'll share how she worked through this, how through coaching and in session, and how the decision she decided to make, and guidance on how to do that for yourself. So my client was sharing how much time she was wasting making a decision. She was upset and it felt out of her hands on either way to go, just completely out of her hands. And what was actually happening was the way she was trying to make the decision was creating extra pressure and pain. So of course, when it was time to think about what to do, and she actually had space to decide, it was just too overwhelming and she didn't want to do it. This makes perfect sense if this has been your experience. So if this has been happening up to this point, no worries. This is what we do. And this is exactly why we have coaching. So it wasn't because of the decision itself, but it was how she was approaching it. And I'll describe more about that. The way she was thinking about the decision was causing her to waste time, and just a small shift made it simple to make the decision. So it wasn't the decision itself, it wasn't the two things she was deciding between, it was how she was thinking about the decision that made it feel hard, overwhelming, like a lose-lose, and just allowing her to spend a lot of time avoiding it. So before we go further into this concept, I want to point out that the way you think about time is also optional too. So I do not choose to ever think I'm wasting time, just period. Time is there. There are 24 hours in one day. The less I focus on the time, the more I live life, which is all about what making decisions is making decisions so you can live life that you enjoy and not making it about the time. So how you structure your life, how you live your life, that's where the focus goes, like how you want that to feel from the day to day, how you want to go through your day and feel and experience it, not the time. So personally, I just don't choose to ever think I'm wasting time. I don't think it's valuable. And I want to share that here too, because we'll use that phrase throughout because this was the client's experience. She felt she was wasting time. And let's be clear, time was being spent waiting to decide. So when you think you're wasting time, when that's happening, that adds pressure too. So I just want to offer to you that up to this point, if you have been waiting to make a decision, totally fine. What if no time has been wasted? I just want to offer that to you right now before we go any further. Okay? Okay. But for the sake of this episode, I'm using the phrase wasting time because this was what the client was sharing. But play around with the idea that time isn't wasted as a choice. So similar to the client exampler I mentioned earlier, it can be harder to make a decision based on how you're looking at it. So let's say you have two options you're choosing from. Like right now, think of a decision you are trying to make. And with each option, you factor in all the reasons why it wouldn't be the best. Like those feel like the first things that come up. Well, it wouldn't work because of this. And this is the reason why I can't do it. And this is the reason that it would be miserable and terrible if I chose it. And so what happens is that's kind of the direction your thinking and focus goes towards, no matter which option you're choosing from. So we have option A and we have option B, but when you think about both, you're thinking about why it wouldn't work and how it would be hard either way. So the focus is really on why it wouldn't work, like your decision. Like whatever you choose, your brain is focused on why it wouldn't work. Now listen, while it's valuable to look at facts and consider what might not work, for sure, making a decision from that place is very hard. It easily gets pushed back to later because it's just taking so much emotional strength and focus that it's kind of exhausting, like literally. But again, it's not because a decision is there to be made, and it's not even because of option A or B. It's the way that you're thinking and focusing on the decision and looking at why it wouldn't work. So time passing alone won't make it more comfortable or clear to decide. And you've probably noticed that in your case as well. So the way my client was thinking about her decision is that it would be uncomfortable either way. And she didn't notice that. And most of us don't. And this is why this episode is here, is I don't want anyone to feel like I can't believe I've been doing that. This happens all the time. And that's why I want you to have this episode in your tool belt so you can pop it out anytime and use it to see, oh, am I doing this? Am I focusing on all the things that won't work? Am I focusing on making a decision where both sides are just uncomfortable? What can I do about that? Listen to this episode. So she didn't notice it. Of course, we have human brains. And I asked her what it would be like to make the decision if she was sure about both options first, that both options could potentially work first, and then decide. So to elaborate on that, I asked her to think about if she could be happy or satisfied either way, what would she want to do then? And just start there. So this lets you see a bigger picture of what's possible in each option. And the amazing, wonderful, juicy, delightful thing about this process, or hashtag brain hack really, is there's no obligation to even make the decision yet. You simply look at both options one at a time, and instead of thinking or looking at why it wouldn't work, you ask why this would be the best option, the best decision. Okay, so let me walk through that again. You simply look at both options, A and B, one at a time, and you ask why this would be the best decision. You are going to get so much access to all of the beautiful reasons why this decision keeps coming up for you in the first place. You are going to find all the resourcefulness and all the reasons why it's going to work and why it's going to be great and why you can choose it. And from that point, it's going to be clear. Your decision is going to be clear. And that was the case with this client. It was clear and she knew what she wanted to do. From that point, she can continue now to see all the reasons why option A, for example, is the best decision. And when she wants to take the first steps and then just let go of the other option that felt like it was weighing on her. But what really was weighing on her was thinking about how uncomfortable it would be to pick either one. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? So the weighing on you is making a decision based on only the cons. What could go wrong? So without obligation to making a choice yet, when you're in between decisions, look at how you could be content and satisfied with option A if it was the best decision. Why option A is the best decision, and just spend some space there thinking about that. Then you look at how content and satisfied you could be with option B and why that would be the best decision. And you're going to find all these reasons why. Then it's an easy choice. So then you'll have access to more resourceful thinking, and this is where creative ideas are accessed. So if you're not feeling like creative or feel like you could make it work, it's probably because this is just happening. You're focusing on the cons only. Again, this makes perfect sense. Not a problem. This is where you can refocus back to thinking about why it would be the best decision without any obligation to pick one yet, and just to access that resourceful thinking. It is so amazing how just shifting your brain to why it would be the best decision gets you out of the overwhelm, gets you out of wasting time, gets you out of feeling like I haven't made a decision and I don't know what to do, like all of that. And it just takes you to resourcefulness, creativity, perspectives, ideas, solutions. It is so amazing and empowering. And so that's why you have to have this. Our brains want to focus on the one thing that's not working or the 10 things that are not working and go deep into why it can't and won't work. This is okay. And just a side note, quick side story about the brain. The reason your brain does this is not because you're messed up. The reason your brain is doing this is because it wants to keep you from danger. And so your brain just is always focused on what could go wrong. Again, this is okay because you are the captain of your brain. And at any time, you can just redirect it. Okay, acknowledged. I see what couldn't work. Thank you. So good to know. I also want to consider why it could also be the best decision. Do that with both sides. And once you see the possibility that you would make it work either way, it will, one, either make it glaringly clear which way to go, or two, you'd be happy and content with both, so there's no pressure. Then you can make a decision to close out going back and forth and go. Start taking action on that decision. And to be honest, I could do a whole podcast on that step alone, taking the action after you've made the decision, how to make it happen after you decide, and I think I will. But in the meantime, you can also go to episode 11, Confident Decisions. Totally choose that up to this point, if you've been in between decisions, you haven't wasted any time. You may have only been looking at the cons, which of course would make decisions feel super hard and overwhelming. Now you know you have the option to look at both options at why they would be the best decision, without pressure to decide either one yet, but to be able to access your resourceful thinking, see all the options, get those creative ideas and solutions that you haven't seen yet, but now you've redirected your brain in that direction and they will be there. You guys enjoy this episode. I am so happy to share it with you. I know it's going to be one of those ones that you listen to over and over again to get clear. And if you want to take this work deeper, if you're thinking while you're listening to this episode that it would just be so great to do this work with a coach one-on-one while you work through your goals or improve your emotional health, all of those things that you're thinking of, let's just do it. Let today be the day where you decide you're going to book your clarity call and get started on working together. So what would happen is you're going to go to MissChristieWilliams.com to get started. You're going to click on Work with Christie, and there you'll schedule the free clarity call. This is the call where you and I are going to talk about specifically decisions you want to make, actions you want to take, the goals you want to reach, and the way you want to feel when you get there. And then we'll create the plan from start to finish on how to do that. It's very personalized. So I can't wait to see you there. Go to MissChristieWilliams.com. Have an amazing week, you guys. I'll see you next time. Hey, lovely. If you want to be more confident on the outside, you have to start on the inside. If you don't take time to create an amazing relationship with yourself, it will show up in every other area of your life. If you feel stuck or don't know how to be yourself, I invite you to work with me one-on-one. Go to MissChristieWilliams.com and sign up for a free call to join my 6-month program. That's MissChristieWilliams.com, and I'll see you in session.